And we are live. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you are in this world. And welcome to another edition of Living World of Darkness, Big Apple Takedown. It has been a few days, almost a little under a week, since the good doctor Alexis Fairfax visited her patient. And while checking up on her fellow PhD holder, in a sense, she decides to visit Dr. Abasam. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And she shows up to the door, and she'll knock on the door.
Has she let Rebecca know that she's coming?
No.
Okay. In that case, there's quite a pause before she hears the sounds of footsteps. Though once again, there's a cat attacking the door, threatening her life and her family through the mail slot. And she hears quiet, go on, Milton. Get out of here, Milton. Stop that. Before the door is opened and Rebecca stands there looking surprised and pleased to see her. Well, come in. Hello there. It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well. And she'll step in, take off her windbreaker, light jacket, and hang it up on a hook near the door, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. And she'll slip off her shoes and set her bag down on the coffee table.
Rebecca is meanwhile returning to the couch, where there's obviously, she's been for some time. You know, she's got kind of things set up for herself, a little nest made for herself in the couch cushions. And there are a couple cats scattered around. She returns to her nest and sets her books aside, picks up her tea. If you would like some tea, anything to drink, my home is your home. Help yourself to the kitchen.
Mikasa Sukasa, as it were.
Yes. Though I'm afraid that's not a language I speak.
Well, technically I don't either, but I've heard it used, and I know what it means.
How have you been?
She just smiles. Good. Very good, actually.
I'm going to peony that smile. It begins now. Let's see, we're in Hunter?
Hunter dice roll.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one success.
Alexis has the look of somebody who seems to be fairly satisfied with the current state of her life right now.
Well, that is good to hear. I'm so glad. Anything in particular?
Well, normally when your significant other comes back from the airport, you expect things to be joyful and you know, the whole sense of how much you've missed each other sort of overtakes you, and then when you finally get there, she just smiles. Sometimes it's even better than you'd hoped.
Huh. Yes. You're right. That's always a wonderful feeling. Well, it sounds like things are going very well for you. For the two of you.
Well, depending on how well you're doing today, you might be able to meet her sooner rather than later.
Take a look for yourself. She's going to pull herself back off the couch. She's wearing more clothes, more modern clothes this time. So she can just roll up her shirt, kind of tug down the hem of her pants a little bit. And she's not going to stand up while Alexis examines the wound. She sits back down because she's still at a -2 diff to things and still unsteady on her feet, but it looks like it's healed a full level of lethal, which is not a small amount.
Alexis will sort of pull out a thing of hand sanitizer and clean off her hands before she gets up, and she will start to unwrap the dressings. And she will have herself a look-see.
Rebecca submits to her ministrations without protest.
Damn right she does. Don't make the good doctor angry. You don't like her when she's angry. So what are you at? Injured now? Or hurt?
Now at wounded.
You were at mauled before.
Mm-hmm.
She took you up to wounded?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Take a look at this. She'll look at the wounds and see that they are indeed healing nicely. And she will pull her doctor's bag out of her larger bag. She'll pull out her stethoscope and put the so that self-inflating cuff onto Rebecca's arm. Start it up and begin to listen to the sound of her pulse as the cuff gets her blood pressure.
Rebecca has great blood pressure.
So, on a scale from 1 to 10, how's your pain?
It's being very well managed with a little of what they gave me the prescription for. Out of character, I don't know shit about painkiller prescriptions, so pretend she says something reasonable that she would have been prescribed for, being shot in the stomach with a shotgun.
Probably Vicodin.
Okay, there you go.
High dose of it. And she will then pull the stethoscope away once she hears that everything's working in relative good order, and she'll place it down sort of on Rebecca's abdomen at this point. Just listen. Any numbness or lightheadedness?
No? Not more than usual.
Any serious pain?
I'm really healing very well.
And Alexis will sort of place her hands on the outer perimeter of her abdomen and start to press gently and sort of work her way in.
It goes about like she'd expect. Rebecca doesn't have any weird flare-ups, but she's soon closing her eyes and stiffening against the pain. She's got all kinds of beat to shit in there.
And she will sort of sit back and look over at Rebecca.
What's the diagnosis, doctor? Am I going to make it?
Yes, but I'm afraid you'll never be able to play the piano again.
Darn, I do love the piano. As long as I can pick up the cats when they go for the mail slot, that's all that I ask. Someday.
Your cat is what is his name? Milton? He's a little ball of hate.
No, he's not a little ball of hate. He's just very protective. And I think the mailman might have personally offended him at some point. Somehow. I'm not entirely sure how. Most of his rage seems focused on that mail slot. Or someone in a mailman's uniform. We haven't really talked about it. But he's very defensive of his territory.
Pretty sure if I was putting my hand anywhere near that mail slot, it would be cat scratch fever.
Yes, exactly.
She'll hold out her hand.
Rebecca isn't entirely sure what she is being asked to do, but she also reaches to take the hand gently.
And Alexis will take the hand up to her lips and just sort of rest them up against the skin of Rebecca's knuckles, and she will spend 2 points of conviction.
Oh shit! Where's she getting all this conviction from?
You gave her you gave her back her original 3. Remember?
That's true. Rebecca's still astonished that this is a thing. I have to check and see how often I can use. It's not in this book. Good thing I had it open. When she starts to raise Rebecca's hand to her lips again, Rebecca stiffens, and then just kind of slumps a little bit. Not in a bad way, more of a just kind of surrendering herself to this what's happening now. Relaxing is really the best way to say it. She's just relaxing into the pain's gonna go away. I can't find the where's the dots?
So it's once per game session, so I'm guessing about once per month.
Perfect. Is that for yours or mine?
You can only use it on Alexis once a month, or any of the hunters once a month.
Okay.
I mean, you have to ask Robbie what he considers a chapter game session.
Sure. Okay. Are you sure you're okay giving up that conviction?
Yes.
Okay.
She's not been in very many fights, so it's better to put it to use.
What page is it on? This is killing me.
Visionary, page 77.
Thank you. I was literally on 75, for heaven's sakes. Okay. So, as the warmth starts to fill her, Rebecca's eyes close, and when they open again, she's going to lean forward and try and give Alexis a hug.
Alexis is a little shaky and starts to look dizzy, and she has that sort of just that weak shake you get when all the strength is sapped out of your body. Sort of that, when you're like really, really ill and you try and get up. But she goes a bit pale and clammy as she does it. So it's almost a catch at this point.
Oh. Are you okay?
I don't think I'm ever going to get used to that.
Part of me says you shouldn't have. You should save it in case you need it. It takes a lot out of you.
Well, the funny thing is, I heal almost 3 times the rate that I did before.
Wow.
It would take me 3 days, I think, to heal from the wound that you experienced.
That's incredible. I think it'd take her 3 days to get from mauled to wounded. It should take like a week total. Half a week.
Once the doctor has regained her composure, she'll look at the wounds. First time being able to see sort of the stitches or the areas where she's been stitched heal up in that regard. So enjoy going from, what is it?
Wounded to injured in 1 day. That's got to be amazing. Well, I have been truly spoiled. I'll have to find some way to make it up to you. I hope you'll let me have your lady fare to dinner.
If you don't do anything too strenuous, you can probably start going out and about again.
Oh, thank goodness.
But no heavy lifting, no running, no strenuous activity. Just, it would be good for you to get out and walk a bit, I'm sure.
With pleasure.
And Alexis will move over to a chair. Or she's got a sectional, doesn't she?
Mhm.
So yeah, Alexis will sit on the sectional side where Rebecca's sort of propped up, and she'll kind of rest a bit against it, slump down a bit as she sort of catches or tries to compose herself completely.
You all right?
I'll be fine. Just keeps my head from spinning.
Ah, goodness.
So, any news on Fletcher or Ivan?
No word. Not a murmur. I keep expecting to hear something from the news about Ivan. But nothing yet.
Anything about these people?
No, I'm sure they won't be on the news. And I haven't talked to anyone outside, really. A few friends, but no one that I would send looking for them, looking after them, anywhere close to them.
I thought we were supposed to fight creatures that prey on our people. And for some reason, we're fighting amongst ourselves.
Well, we are fighting creatures that prey on our people. They are fighting anyone they can get their hands on. They came after us. But I don't like it either. I don't like it one bit. I've talked to Gabriel about it. He thinks that a legal solution is the best answer. If he can pull it off, I think that he's right. What do you think?
I think that this is way over my pay grade.
There's no such thing anymore.
I don't know enough about what's going on to really make a judgment on it, These people are shot and killed people, potentially, that I've cared about. Certainly injured someone I cared about.
Gabriel thinks we need a leader. Are you prepared to follow?
Follow, not blindly. And ask questions.
Of course.
And are you going to be the one leading us?
No. Gabriel is.
What?
Is that what she says?
Yes. This is exactly what she says.
Gabriel is going to try and find some sort of order in the madness.
Gabriel is...
He's very
You
excited
know,
about it.
when you said ready to follow, I was assuming that the seasoned hunter would be leading us.
Peppered by buckshot does not mean seasoned. He's as seasoned as I am. He and I may have some differences of opinion, but I think that it may be a good time to let him have a chance. See where that takes us. If he wants to herd cats, I'm absolutely willing to let him. Questions are important. But I want to see where this path goes. What do you think?
I'm going to find it very hard to follow Gabriel's lead.
Because he's Gabriel.
Because he's Gabriel.
It might be a good idea to because he's big Gabriel is a bad reason. I think you understand that as well as I do.
You got to be able to trust the person that's leading you, right?
Only if you're following blindly. If you're following conscientiously, carefully, as I hope you will be, you only need to trust the path. I admit that dealing with these fuckers legally is going to have some very interesting challenges. But I think it's wise and good. I think we're well equipped to handle such a thing, such a venture. And I like it better than killing our own. Though I'll be honest, the measure of what makes one of our own these days is rubbed thin. If we misuse our powers, we quickly become indistinguishable from the monsters we're supposedly hunting. She reaches out and picks up one of the pieces of paper that is scattered across the table next to her and folds it in half, but not quite in half, just kind of like nearly half, but like almost like she's underlining something, and then sets it back down again.
Alexis will sit up. Looking a bit out of sorts, simply just on the whole predicament. She'll chew on her lower lip.
I would love if you'd speak your mind. Even if you're not sure about what you say. All of this is... I'm tired of the sound of my own voice, my own thoughts.
I think you and Gabe are going to get yourselves killed.
In what way?
Going up against these people. We potentially shot and killed 2 of our people. Injured a 3rd. Nearly killing her.
When you say we're going to get ourselves killed, do you think it's because of our methods? Or because we're opposing them at all?
I don't know. I don't know them. I don't know what they're about.
They're hunters who believe that blood and fire are the only possible answer, and anyone who can't get bloody enough and fiery enough is subverting the cause.
Well, if we come into in so many different flavors, how are we subverting it?
I agree. I think they're wrong. I think they're wrong, and I think they've lost sight of what's important. And I think they're very, very dangerous to us. I know I don't like to admit it, but I know, and I must admit it, that they are very, very dangerous to us.
What do you think caused them to take an interest in you in the first place?
That I can answer very clearly. We saw them demonstrate their power in a room full of innocent people. When we went to try and learn more about what had happened, we found them engaged in a pitched battle with flying women, defending themselves to the death, and interfered in their battle. She closes her eyes because this is the part she doesn't want to talk about. The battle was deadly on both sides. When I say we interfered, I mean we were responsible for the deaths of several of their own.
So they're looking for vengeance.
I don't quite know. If they were looking for simple vengeance, I think they would have just killed us. I think perhaps they're looking to split the party. I think they think that some of us could be goaded to blood and fire if the bad influences were weeded out.
Hmm.
It's difficult to be clinical when I know I am one of the bad influences. And they nearly weeded me out. They were nearly right.
Didn't have the forethought to ask before, but you think that you're still in danger?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know what precisely the danger is. They've not tried to kill any of us yet.
Are you sure? Because shot to the stomach kind of feels like it's a
You're
very
right.
direct statement.
But they didn't pull. Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
They didn't pull the trigger. They aimed that gun and convinced us to pull the trigger.
Ivan.
Us. I don't know if the goal was to change a mind or destroy bad influence, but
Are you absolutely sure that they did it? Or that you did it? Because I just don't see you, Fletcher, Gabriel, turning on one another and shooting.
just no. I don't think I could have. Perhaps. Well, it's a choice I'm glad I didn't have to make. Ivan made the choice for me, and he made the choice I would have hoped he would make to get everyone out of there alive. And then, for some reason, they stayed behind, he and Fletcher. I don't understand. I just heard the gunshots. The point is they're dangerous, but I don't know what danger yet. And I haven't quite felt well enough to be frightened. What are you thinking, Alexis?
This is nuts.
You keep saying that.
How is it not crazy?
It's happening. You can't deny that it's happening.
I'm not saying it isn't, but it doesn't make it any less crazy.
Maybe a different word. Crazy implies hallucination, unreality, and this is so real. Shocking, maybe, not crazy. Disorienting, not crazy. We're both rather painfully sane, aren't we?
Seems like it would almost be better if we weren't.
No, that's not the choice either of us has made. We could pretend we were ignorant at any point still. I don't think either of us have that in us, do we?
Just kind of makes a heavy sigh at that. I don't. I don't. I don't get any of this. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Fighting against those things that felt good, that felt right, keeping them away from hurting people, felt like it was what I was supposed to be doing. This. I don't want to put a gun to anyone and pull the trigger.
I agree.
I don't even know if I could.
Then you agree with Gabriel.
I suppose I do.
They've committed crimes, and that is something that our government is supposedly arrayed to deal with.
Just a really long pause from Alexis. She's got that deer in the headlights sort of expression. Someone who's very used to being very much in charge, having all of their agency sort of scattered and smacked around because any choice she feels like she makes could be a very misinformed one.
We'll figure it out.
I sure hope you're right. I don't want us caught in it, and I don't want anyone that we care about caught up in it. If these people are the way you say they are, I feel like the people we care about are probably in danger too. We get involved. I don't suppose that there's I don't suppose that there's just letting this pass us by, is there?
It's a good question. And one I have been considering intently. The last time that we let it be, they killed someone in Fletcher's apartment. Ivan spent time in jail until his lawyers got him off the hook to protect Fletcher from that little misadventure. If they don't like to be ignored, I shudder to think what will happen next. And God forbid it involve my cats. I'm sorry, I shouldn't joke, but there are things we can do, unobtrusive things, to prepare to put them behind bars. Gabriel is the best equipped for that. But I have some contacts I can look into. And more that I should be trying to garner. Unobtrusive things. Not blood and fire. Not leaving it alone either. Does that answer your question?
Can you repeat that again, MA? Like, my audio just cut out there.
Oh, sorry. She said not blood and fire, but not leaving it alone either. Basically going after them without alerting them.
Rebecca, you know I'm not a fighter, right? I've never thrown a punch in my life.
That's precisely what I'm saying. That's exactly what I've just said. We're not armed. We're not dangerous. There's no sense in getting into a firefight with these people. No blood, no fire. Their own sins will condemn them. imagining them that there's some sort of justice at all.
Lexus scrunches up her nose a bit.
What do you think? Be honest. Please.
Every scenario in my head that I think about this going down either makes us become the monsters or worse.
What am I proposing that's monstrous?
If these people decide to take reprisals for anything that we do against them, we could end up fighting them, having to kill them, or having them kill one of us. And I'm absolutely terrified of the thought of getting someone I care about caught up in this. And she'll stand up at that point and start pacing.
Good. You should be terrified.
It was a wonderful, wonderful pep talk.
I mean, you shouldn't let it stop you, obviously. But the moment that we cease to be concerned about the ramifications of our actions is the moment that we're no longer relevant, that we've betrayed our own cause and might as well just sit down and close our eyes. And if there's anyone that I trust to be motivated in very productive ways by terror, it's you. I know you're made of sterner stuff than most. I know you won't let it shut you down, that you'll use it and make it a goad to move yourself to action. I would never choose to terrify you on purpose, and if I could keep this from you, I would. I hope you know that. I know you're in love. If you need to take time away.
Alexis kind of takes a really sharp breath in the second that Rebecca says that.
I mean, I know you have someone to lose now. If you can't be involved, you can't be involved. I will understand. All of us will understand. It's better that you're honest about it than that we find out when we were counting on you. And she, without really thinking about it, lays her hand on her stomach. What do
I
you
don't want
think?
to leave you guys exposed.
Each of us needs to be in this with the force of our own conviction, not for one another, but because we know that what we do is right. I don't know why Ivan was there. Or Fletcher. If they didn't intend to come out with us, they didn't intend to leave that house. I don't know why they would go in. But please, don't ever be the reason I have to wonder that again.
Alexis will finally just nod. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. At the very least, I can act as support for the rest of you.
Yes. Figure out how you're going to defend us.
She sits back and she sort of is playing the conversation over a bit in her head, and every so often she just starts chuckling to herself and smiling, just brimming with a smile.
What is so funny?
She cants her head to one side, almost looking like she just can't even believe what's going on in her head herself. I have to go.
All right.
And she starts gathering up her things, and just she's almost glowing as she just smirks and chuckles to herself.
I'm just going to roll some die.
Yeah, I kind of figured. I hope you get a good number of successes.
She got 2 successes on a manip sub roll.
Oh, how about I thought you were gonna roll?
Peony?
I thought you were gonna peony.
Yes. I'm trying to decide whether she would peony right now. She has a guess. Well, we'll give it 3 successes on a peony.
Something you said to her just made her come to a revelation. Very plain and simply.
Where are you going, Alexis?
To go and be 18 years old again. That's where I'm going. She'll pick up her bag and look down at Rebecca, and just a smile on her face. I can help you and Gabriel. I don't know how. I don't know in what capacity. I'm gonna try and branch out socially and see who I can link up with. Look at some of my father's old contacts in the city, and maybe I can help make things easier for us. Facilitate to help build something. I don't know.
Oh, Rebecca's gonna roll it again.
What is it, Peony or oh god?
Nope, it's my nip sub.
I mean, I gotta. You've been throwing these dice at me. I gotta roll against it now. I gotta see what I can see.
She sits up and covers her hand with her mouth briefly.
No, I got a success.
You look so happy.
She smiles. She looks almost a little bit guilty for smiling, but it's not like pulling her down. Something you just said made me realize I need to go say something to someone.
What's that?
She just starts to blush a bit, and she doesn't really. She just kind of gives Rebecca this half earnest but somewhat coy smile.
Well, if you're gonna look at me like that, you better take some poetry with you.
Poetry.
Don't you dare go tell anyone any of what's on your face without some poetry prepped. I don't recommend Shakespeare.
Love really doesn't ever find a way in Shakespeare's tales, so no.
My point exactly.
Any suggestions?
Mm,
Dr. Abeson?
maybe Keats. Rumi. Not Rumi. Hafez. Not Rumi.
Lexus will look over at the books on the bookshelves for a minute and then look back at Rebecca.
Give me a little time. I'll text you something.
Alexis will sort of smile at Rebecca, and she's just going to lean down and kiss Rebecca on the cheek and just hug her around the neck, not around the body, because, you know.
Yeah. She hugs her back.
This whole thing hasn't been all bad, you know?
Ah, I'm so glad. May it ever be that.
I don't think I've had a friend like you in a very long time.
Well, may we have one another for a very long time.
And hopefully, well, may we be able to enjoy the lighter moments.
Yes. Go on. I'll find you a poem to take with you. Bring me that book, and she points.
She'll walk over and grab it and bring it back over to Rebecca.
She smiles at her and begins to flip through the book.
And while that's going on, I am going to roll another P and E on Rebecca.
Okay.
Jesus!
Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's 5 successes.
5 dice, no less. Jeez.
Rebecca is turning the pages of the book like they might bite her. She's very carefully searching through the poems, skimming them as though she's very familiar with each one. But she holds the book like it might bite her. She looks queasy. She's been sitting here with, being comfortable and with quite a lot of color in her face, but the color's kind of faded. And she looks kind of green and nauseous as she turns the pages. And a little bit sad. And a little bit wistful. But when she glances up to look at Alexis, her smile is very genuine.
Is there any correlation that she might any conclusions that she might be able to make given the climate of their overall conversation, at least the latter part of it?
Nope, none at all. It seems almost entirely without context.
Alexis will then just very gently put a hand on Rebecca's shoulders. You okay?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes. I think Edna St. Vincent Millay is the one you want. A lot of it's sad, but some of it's perfect. How sad is what you're going to tell someone?
Not very at all.
Well then, I'll write this down for you. There.
Alexis is going to look at the sheet of paper and to read it. And she just takes a moment and she smiles. Have you ever fallen in love with someone, Rebecca?
Yes. A poet.
And before Alexis continues, she is going to roll a P&E. She does not want to. She does not want to put something out on a conversation thread if it's going to upset Rebecca in any way. And she's going to spend a willpower point to make sure she's going to pay careful attention. And she gets 4 successes.
Is she gonna roll against you? Let's go for it. Oh! You have one more success than she does. So she is sitting patiently. She gave you the poem, and she takes a paper from the table to bookmark it while you watch her. She bookmarks the poem she was just looking at, and then sets the book aside, and everything about her is cool, calm, and collected, and gracious as ever. But you can tell with your extra success that she sets the book down gingerly, and there's something old and raw there. Oh no, I've cheated. I forgot about wound penalties. One moment. I've been cheating all night. I'm terrible.
The scandal.
Oh, I'm terrible. Okay, so you have 2 successes. She is as cool, calm, and collected as she can be with bullets in her tummy. She looks...
There's still bullets in there. Alexis got those out.
You're right.
So 2 successes.
You get basically what you got before, but more so. That the pain she's hiding is old and deep.
Alexis is gonna keep that one hand, or move the hand sort of to Rebecca's spine, sort of just at the base of her, at the back of her neck, and just sort of rub up and down gently. The other hand is going to gently clasp Rebecca's.
Her eyes go wide and she looks up, straightens a little bit. It's all right. It's all right. It was a long time ago. Go say sweet things to your lady.
Alexis just offers a smile. I'm not looking to open up old wounds, but if you ever want to talk about it.
Thank you. He was the talker. This is some other time. Some other time.
When you're ready.
Thank you.
And she's actually going to get a little misty-eyed as she goes in and she just hugs Rebecca tightly.
She hugs her back. At first it's a little bit lackluster, again kind of ginger, and then she squeezes hard and then lets go again before it hurts.
Yeah. You still taking your antibiotic?
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't I take you out for lunch tomorrow?
That sounds lovely. I would appreciate that very much.
And Alexis will give a gentle pat to Rebecca's shoulder before standing up. Try and stay as immobile as you can for right now, but tomorrow, go out for a walk. Doctor's orders.
Will do. Thank you.
You're most welcome. And she will slip her shoes on and grab her coat, put it on. I'll let myself out. Just stay there, relax, okay?
Thank you. Thank you for stopping by, and Alexis, thank you for what you've given me.
Alexis cants her head to one side, has her hands on the doorknob, and she just looks at. It's like it's very easy to say or to tell that it's that "thank you for what" kind of look.
Her brows raise, and she just kind of gestures to the entire room for the company, for the healing, for the conviction. For the honesty. All of it.
That's what friends are for, Rebecca. And she opens the door and makes sure to lock the knob before she steps out and pulls the door shut behind her. And if there's anything else,
Nope.
then thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in, and thank you, players, for playing. We'll see you again soon.